Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of our podcast of Empowering Humans. Today, I have a really cool treat for you. Please introduce yourself to the world.
Thank you for having me. My name is Keya, and I am the founder and creator of Cute Beauty. I am a full-time makeup artist in Atlanta, Georgia for over a decade. I've been working in the industry for a long time in print, beauty. I work in production and film. But recently, I've been working with a photography duo called Creative Soul, and they primarily shoot children in an editorial manner. So that's what I'm doing currently.
So, makeup artists. I have a lot of questions. I don't know many people that. Can you tell us a little bit about that industry? Like, who do you serve? Who do you normally do makeup for?
Yeah, I really serve everybody, whoever it is who needs makeup services. However, I have tried to specialize myself. So even though I do everyone, I have tried to be a influence and a force in the visual world, which means print, which is magazines or, what you would see on television, or what you see on the big screens or in small screens.
And
So
it's a big industry too, right? It's a big industry.
it really is. It
So,
really
children. So now you're going into the avenue of doing it for children. Tell me a little bit about that. What made you go that direction?
Well, I had gotten, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was a phone call or an email, and this photography team was looking for a makeup artist, for their photo shoots. So I got the opportunity to meet them. And so that opens up my world because I was so used to dealing with adults, for the
More
past,
difficult sometimes.
yeah.
Much more difficult people.
Right, right. So I was like, you know what, children, that's not going to be such a departure, but it is. It is.
Why? Like why? What are some of the differences?
The differences in, of course, the conversation, number one, even though some of them can hold pretty,
Yep, they're smart.
yeah, they're very smart.
Yes, they are, and aware of what's going on, and they want better. They're thinking. I don't know. I talk about the young people all the time, and it's a
Yeah,
different breed.
it
Different.
is. It's a different breed, and I'm taken aback of how they speak and what they speak about and what they're exposed to. But I know when it comes to makeup, it could be a touchy subject when it comes to children, because our children these days they're exposed to so much,
Yes.
and it's so beyond their years in most instances, and I really want to keep them as young as possible, even in their appearance. So I make it a point to bring out their natural,
Yeah.
enhancing them naturally, not transforming, not making anything look different, and definitely not aging them. But I found out that they have a lot of questions when it comes to makeup. They want to know why am I using it? What colors am I using? Am I using their favorite colors?
Really? So that and adults didn't ask these types, but they are. Why do you think they're asking these questions? Why are they so interested?
Because they see it. They're inundated with what we didn't have when we were growing up, and that's social media. So they get to see. I mean, we already had when we were growing up had certain kids that we would call fast. But now these days, all you have to do is pick up a phone.
Yeah, you see everything. They see all this stuff.
It's there, good and bad,
Yeah.
is there. But when it comes to makeup, I mean, yes, it's relevant or it's subjective, but at the same time, I do see a lot of little girls who emulate what they see. So if they see, a woman or their favorite singer or actress or actor or whatever wearing a certain thing, then
They,
that's what they do. You
uh,
know, snaps.
yep.
We all wanted to make our idols or people that we looked up to. But I find that it is very necessary to keep our young people, our young little girls, as young for as long.
As long as possible. Yeah, they have plenty of time.
Yes, life already comes at us quickly, and so we don't want to rush it. And
That's
then we
right.
have the girls too, beautiful young girls, young boys, adolescents that are naturally beautiful, but with the additive of makeup, it can make them look much older than what they are, which can open up so many other things that could be harmful.
So let me ask you this, so why makeup? Why did you get into this part of it's entertainment business, I guess you can call it? Like, why would you what made you say one day I want to do makeup? That's what I want.
You say that because that was never my thing. I never dreamed of or wanted to get into it. It just so happened that I moved to Atlanta many years ago. I'm not going to say how long. That time I was interested in modeling myself. So I happened to be invited to do a local runway show, and I just assumed that there would be a makeup artist there. I knew nothing about makeup personally. So I just trusted, okay, if somebody's going to do a show, then they're going to provide, not only the clothing, they're going to provide the makeup.
I would think so too. It's their production, right? Like they want to look a certain look. You would think, yeah, you weren't wrong in thinking that. I would have thought the same thing.
Exactly, and that's what I thought until I showed up, and I was completely embarrassed. There was no makeup artist there. I didn't have makeup. I didn't know how to apply makeup, so I wasn't prepared. So I had to walk down that runway naked in the face, and I said I will never, ever, ever have that happen to me again and not be prepared. So that was my personal introduction to makeup. I just to learn how to do it for myself. And then from there, that's when I grew, the curiosity and started practicing not only on myself, but on other girls who were in similar situations, who were not prepared or did not know. And so I happened at the time to be working for a company, I don't think they're no longer in business, called Wilson's Leather. And my manager there happened to be the photo editor of a local magazine. And that was my start.
Look at you. You're falling in the right places at the right time. And did it also show you how important that piece is of the whole puzzle when it comes to modeling? And yeah, because look, they let you go down there like that. They didn't, I mean,
Been crazy.
you had to do it though. And I'm pretty sure you went totally with nothing thinking they're going to, you want to give them a canvas to do their thing.
Exactly.
But look, thank God they did. Good things have come out of situations like that. So when we initially spoke, you were doing something. You had your own makeup line, right? Tell me a little bit about that.
So, because I started working with children and they were very inquisitive, I also saw that when they were in my chair, if I happened to apply a product, namely a lip product that had a smell or a taste to it, the young girls would just eat it up. They would lick it
Wait,
off.
wait, like really eat it, like really.
If it smells good, you want to try it. Lips. What are you gonna do? You gonna lick your lips.
There. So yeah.
So I would apply it, some of the little girls would lick it off, and I'm looking like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's in that product that on their lips, but they are eating it. That was my inspiration. I was like, you know what? I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel of lip gloss itself, but I would like to know what's in the product and what I'm putting on my little girls.
Of
Because
course.
in my chair now, I'm feeling responsible,
Well,
for what I'm
good.
putting on them. So I decided to make my own. I have a handmade, all natural lip gloss that's specifically geared to young girls. It's age appropriate, meaning that it's not a lot of color. I do use some, but it's not overwhelming, so it does go on sheer. So now I know what's in the products that I put on.
So now it gives you confidence when you put it on. You see, you don't even think about these things, right? You're using these products, and you just what kind of things were in there when you researched it?
Well, I mean, when I look at the tubes of cosmetics, period, these days, some of the stuff you can't even pronounce. The It's so long. It's so many letters in it. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I trust it, obviously. If I'm buying it, I trust it enough to put it on my body, on my skin, on my face. I don't know what kind of reaction you're going to get. Everybody's different, but we trust these things and we don't think about it at all. We just
yep,
slap it on,
yep.
that type of thing. But I was like, but if this is something that I can personally can control and I'm putting it on one of the most delicate parts of someone's body, which is their mouth, that's where we consume everything. Then I want to make sure that my little girls are as safe as they possibly can be. So I use an all organic castor oil. It's flavored. So I use an all natural flavor. There's no chemicals, there's no parabens. My flavoring and my sweetener that I use right now is stevia, but I am looking into using monk fruit because I want everything to be
Ooh,
safe
yeah,
to consume it. Even if they want to squeeze it out and
yeah. They have like, okay, so what's your inspiration though to do makeup now? So it looks like you're very passionate about it, right? The fact that you're starting a product for it, all of that is really hard, right? To come up with something new, not only come up with it, create it and put it on the market. Why so passionate about makeup?
think because I have a passion for makeup only because it's like what they say, first impressions are everything. So when somebody sees you, they're looking at your face
Yes, sir.
automatically. I mean, they may, eventually look at other things, but it's the face, which is the first thing, normally, one of the first things that's seen. We, I like the idea of having our natural features enhanced.
I like that.
So I'm not necessarily interested in transforming people because I like the fact of what you see is what you get. Yeah, and not just when it comes to adult, but for our children, they're I want it to be a safe introduction into makeup for our little kids, but let them also know that makeup can be used as a tool, not just something that you slap on to cover up blemishes or to cover up something, but to show, yes, this is me. This is the best part of me, a best version of me that I can show you. I can add a little highlight, add a little depth, but I don't have to cover. I can use it as something that will show you that I have a natural beauty that I want to show the world. And when it comes to our little girls, I think that they need to know that they can be naturally beautiful.
I like that.
And
That's
they don't have to step into something trying to be like somebody else or try to emulate somebody else. Be yourself, but enhance that.
That's a good message. So that's what I'm getting from you. So the reason you're creating this makeup, the reason you see the importance of having a healthy relationship with this makeup, because it could be a bad relationship, right? Like,
Yeah.
how can that be a bad relationship? How can someone have a bad relationship with me?
Become a slave to it. So,
Oh,
or you can get into makeup and now feel that you can't walk out your door unless you have a foundation on, or you gotta have your lashes on, or you have to have your brows sculpted. You don't have to do that. I feel that if you are able to learn how to just enhance what you have naturally, there's nothing that you can't do. You can face the world and not feel like, oh my gosh, do I have on enough of this or do I have on enough layers to cover this up or whatever?
did you just say layers? No, I don't. I don't want to make them. But what? I have no idea. How many layers do you guys put on your face?
It can be many, but again, it does have its place. But
Yes.
the fact that you can put on makeup and still be yourself and look like yourself if you know how to apply it correctly.
So if you have a healthy relationship, it is like you say, naturally enhance
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah, and I think it promotes confidence, right? In these young ladies
Yes, it really does. And men, because I work with a lot of men.
or men.
Amen. And especially like in, let's say you're an actor, so it's not like you're wearing makeup every day or anything, but you need makeup for your headshot. You know,
Or
you need makeup, but you may need makeup when you have to present yourself or have to do a presentation or want to go on an interview, and you want to enhance yourself, showing some an alter ego necessarily, but you want to put your best foot forward. So it can be used as a tool as opposed to you feeling like, oh my gosh, I got to put this on and I'm masking myself.
got it, got it. Yeah, when I put my lashes on, it changes everything. I feel so good about myself. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But yes, and so anybody that wears it. So when is the product? Is the product out, or is it something you're developing?
I don't know if you're familiar, but it is called Cute Beauty. And so it's an extra lip gloss, a lip gloss line. And I have two flavors. I have vanilla and I have cherry. That's the vanilla. And I decided to also use my niece. That's my niece that's on.
Beautiful. Yeah, you gotta use the family.
Because I normally don't see a lot of dark skinned little girls on beauty products. That's what I don't see now. There may be some out there, but I can't say. But if I saw something like that when I was growing up, the confidence that would
Yeah,
have a dark skinned girl would have been through the roof. So I kind of added that element because I want our little girls of all colors, of all races and creeds to feel proud, about themselves and to be able to see themselves. So that was also part of my packaging, the thought behind
God.
packaging on it.
So you want to make you?
I made sure and if you can see that, I made sure that my little girl's skin was about her skin. It's not about the makeup.
So you're like really, you're also trying to make an impact there because so you're saying there's not a lot of advertisement for people of color in these makeup.
Not when I was coming up, I'll say that.
It's gotten better. But yeah, I think it has.
It really has. I see a lot of emphasis. There's certain brands that are really honing in, on showing all of us, and all different shades. And I love that. But at the same time, I would love to see more people who look like me. When I say me, I'm just talking about darker
Yeah, yeah,
tones.
yeah. No, I got you. I got you. And so how does someone get the makeup? Is it in a store or is it something you buy online?
It's online. I have my own website, which is Cute, www.cute with a K, Cute by Keya. That's KUTEBYKEYA. And that's where I currently have it. I am in a couple of boutiques here locally in Atlanta, but I'm really looking, of course, to
Yeah,
expand.
of course. And you're gonna get it. You're gonna get there. Why a K when you did the Q? Why a K? I'm just curious.
That's a good question. I use the K only because my name starts with the K. So I want a little uniqueness. But normally when we see a little girl or a child that is pretty, we would say, "Oh, she's so cute." So I was like, you know what?
That's okay. I love it. I
She
love it.
cute. So I decided just to change it out with a K, just to keep some little uniqueness to it when I decided to actually come out with my brand.
And have you always been an entrepreneur, or this was your launch to entrepreneur?
It's happened, but now that I think about it, I must have because I went full time in makeup as a freelancer back in 2008.
Counts. That's more than anything. Yeah.
But I never put the two and two together.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Well, I've been doing it for myself and have been, but it wasn't until I, actually started a product that it hit me. I was like, wow, it's just another side of being an entrepreneur. It's obviously what I've been doing.
Yeah, you're an entrepreneur. That's just you have different services and now products. But what you were doing before was a service. but now you're in business with a product. I really hope it. I want it to take off. It's pretty cool. I don't wear makeup, but it looks like a
And I talk to men too. I was like, and I tried to make that correlation when I do speak to men. I was like, if you have a daughter, how do you want her? Well, how do you want her to be? How do you feel as a man about makeup for your daughter or for your wife or your little cousin who is a female? Just to open up the conversation, around the stigma or not. And it makeup for our little girl.
So what do you see, like, when if you think about it and picture a little girl wearing your makeup, what do you hope she's getting out of it as she's putting it on?
Number one, that it boosts her confidence. Number one, that she feels good about herself. Not only that her lips feel good, that it's an actual physical feeling, that she gets, that the product itself, smells good, feels good, tastes good, which in turn will make her feel good, about herself, how she looks, this, that, and the other. But to let her know that she can aspire for better things, because I love for Cute to be what would be considered a luxury brand for kids, kid luxury. So, just want them to know that they, again, don't have to mask themselves, don't have to hide behind makeup, you know, to take care of their own bodies and their skin so that makeup won't even necessarily be needed to an extent where you feel it's something you have to have in order for you to feel beautiful and good about yourself.
I love it. I love it, and that's the way it should be, right? There should be an accent to what you're doing, not your whole life. I mean, we're all, I don't know, people are very beautiful, no matter what the appearance is outside, and if they feel beautiful inside, they always look beautiful on the outside. So I love that you took that approach with it, of it being uh, an enhancement, not a life. Okay, so what can we see in the future with your products? What are your ideas?
I would like to, of course, be able to expand into more flavors, of the lip gloss. I do believe that I would even like to put out specialty collections, meaning that I would like to be able to research different cultures of my little girls, where they come from, to be able to create glosses in their native or their cultural flavors
That's the idea.
for them. So that's what I see, in the future. Not just that, but to also be able to represent all the different cultures and nationalities of my little girls by having possibly each flavor or different flavors or collections of flavors represent, an Asian little girl, a Polish little girl, a Jamaican little girl, you know. So that's what I see in the future. I do see a lot of diversity, but I do know that it can be so wide. So I do have a make sure.
You're gonna get there. You got this. You got this.
So that's the
Anything you want to share with someone that is okay? So you launched this. I'm a coach and I work with a lot of people who are wanting to do their business, right? And one of the hardest things is actually taking the risk, right? It's a big risk making this product. So what would you tell an entrepreneur that wants to, like, put something together? They have an idea. What would you tell them to motivate them to, like, just do it?
just do it.
Ah, that's a good one.
Do it. You know what? And as I say that, I am definitely speaking to myself because I've only been in business now for this February 2 years. And when I tell you, Instagram told me that if I started my product, I would be rich in 6 months. And how so that is not true, and
That's
that
not true.
running a business is a grind. And if you believe in it, you have to stick with it. It is very true. I believe in my product. I believe in my imaging. I think I have a good message. And my advice would be first just to try it. Just try it.
That's
Because
right.
don't want to be years later with the regret that I didn't at least try or have the what ifs, effect. I want to at least know that if it didn't work, well, I put it at least.
And I think passion is important. Like you have a purpose for it, like because like you said, being an entrepreneur is really difficult. It's very difficult. A lot of failure that comes with it, right? And you have to be able to look at that failure and move past it. But I think that passion you have for the industry, like you keep saying, my little girls, like that's what you say when you talk about them. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel so like when they sit down in your chair? What feeling comes to you?
It's something you said that because I didn't recognize that I did.
Didn't? Yeah, you say it all the time. You say when I my little girl, like the
Wow.
yeah,
Yes, because I feel that I have a responsibility. When they're in my chair, I'm responsible. Anyone that sits in my chair, because I'll ask you, do you have any allergies? I have to make sure that you're okay before I start. But when it comes to the little girls, I guess it's just that I never had a girl,
oh, got it.
but I do feel a connection to a lot of them. Not all of them, but because I've been there.
Got it.
I've been there, I've been little, and I had dreams, and if it was something that I was interested in, I was all in, I asked questions or put myself in positions where, I can get access or get the information or the knowledge. So it's just something because the world is so different than what it was.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Big
for
time.
girls, I'm nervous for them, in a lot of ways, for what's out there and what's happening. But they're precious. Our little
Yeah,
girls are precious. They are. And I want them to know that.
and as a young lady who has passed that stage, right, has passed of being a child, what is
Mhm.
something you can, because you talk a lot about having that natural confidence or having not needing the makeup in order to go outside. So, what would you tell a little girl how to start building her confidence? What she has to do to start building her confidence without the makeup?
Okay. So without the makeup, how to build her confidence? I would say tell her that she really would just have to look within herself. And it's not just that, anyone that's around her that loves her, so her parents, other siblings. If she has that type of support system in her life, I think that's where it starts. Because
Mm,
will come not only for herself, because there's going to be times where she doesn't feel confident, where she doesn't feel good about herself, for whatever it is that she may be going through, whether she's going through adolescence, and it's changing, you know, whether she has getting the outbreaks, the acne or whatever it is that comes, she has to know, first of all, that somebody loves her
no matter what, I love that.
system around her, because that's what I had, because I was teased a lot. I was very, very, very skinny. I was dark skinned, and the schools and people I were around were very much opposite from I was. So I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in myself. But at the same time, I was given confidence and I knew I had a support system and the love of my family. So if they told me I could do it, then I could do it.
It's Mr. Maxwell said it best. He said the better you are at surrounding yourself with people with high value, the better your chances of success. I think that's great advice. If you're surrounded by people that love you no matter what, yeah, even on those bad days, they can pick that confidence up and help you. Great point. Anything else you want to share? Any stories about when you went and did makeup, all grown up, of course, and it was crazy. Something happened. I don't know. I don't know how you guys do it. Like, I don't know. It's art. It really is art.
Yeah.
I've seen the difference between someone that does good makeup and someone. For a long time, I didn't think there was a difference, because I'm a guy. But I see it. My daughter's into doing makeup for like shows in school, and I see like they're training her and showing her how to do different things. I'm like, what? There's really a skill you need in order to do this. It's not about just putting something on your face. So you have any like funny stories that
Of course I don't, now that you ask. I can't.
when you watch when we get off tomorrow, you're gonna be like, oh, that was that's the way it is.
From it is the fact that makeup has put me in front of a lot of people that I never thought in life that I would be in front of or around. It's put me in situations or in environments that I never thought I would be in. So it has been a life changing.
Really? And look at that. It was something you weren't into. Like you bumped into it. That's on the way to something you'll find what you're looking for. You just gotta keep moving. That was really good. So look how much it's changed your life. And you have to have courage though, because you stepped into
You have to have courage, and not just courage, you have to have a thick skin because just like art, makeup is really subjective. Some people like what you do, some people don't like your aesthetic, some people love it, some people think you can do better. There's a lot of rejection in it, you know. But I guess that would be in any profession. But when you're in somebody's space and you are the person that's responsible for their image to the world in a lot of instances, that could be heavy. That could be heavy. So I go into most of my jobs and things very nervous, even now. And I've been doing it for a long time. Or I go into things and don't even know what I'm stepping into. And that has happened to me a lot because I've accepted jobs and walk in and it's a celebrity.
like you didn't know and you're like
you know, Boris Kojo, it's Angie Stone. And I'm like, but that had I known it before,
yeah,
I
you were feeling
I would have been a wreck. I would have been a wreck. So that's another part of it, not asking questions or not asking questions before you go.
yeah, and so they don't tell you. Yeah, they don't tell you it's a star because they tell you like it's a sometimes.
But I've had more than my share of not knowing but that also groomed me on how to handle business because in a lot of we do, especially as artists, we just want to go in and do the art, but not knowing how to take care of the business side.
Which is a whole nother world. Yeah, another world, and it's hard. So, how do you handle the rejection? You mentioned rejection as an important part of this industry. So, how did you learn how to handle the rejection? Or
It's still a little iffy, but now I'm like, okay, if I get the no, then okay, because I'm already at no because I haven't gotten the gig.
that's right.
Right? So all I can do is just go in, if it's an audition or, live interview or something like that, then all I can do is go in and do the best that I can, and it's up to them to say the yes or no. But I also have to know that if it is a no, I'm already there because I have gotten it, you
Yep.
know.
You're
And
closer than you were before, right? I like that. I like the way and it's the same with entrepreneurism, right? It's the same in having your own business. You're gonna get a lot of no's, and you can't take it personal. You just gotta keep going.
And that's the thing about it, the taking it personal thing, because you will feel away,
Of course.
right? So if I'm trying to get into something, for example, I just had a live interview with a company where I had to do a live model on Zoom for a company just yesterday, right? And I really want to be a part of this company, but the nerves kick in. I mean, I'm sweating, all kind of things are going through, and going through my brain. But I'm already at no.
Yeah,
So
I like that.
then just move on to the next one.
Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. So wait, on Zoom, that seems weird. I don't think I'll be able to do that. So on Zoom, you have a mannequin, and they're just sitting there watching.
I had a model thinking, it's just going to be me, my model, and whoever the person is that's monitoring what I'm doing. No, I get on the Zoom and it's like 20, 30 other.
I would have hung up. I would be like, no, thank you.
20 other makeup artists, and we're all doing the same thing. We all have to ever, and I had never been a part of anything like that before.
So it's competitive, huh? That industry is very competitive.
It's competitive. It really, and to me, I feel it's saturated, but at the same time, they say what's you is for you. So if you get it, you get it. And if you're talented, then that even helps you. And then it's all about how you handle yourself too. Because sometimes there's things that I have auditioned or interviewed for as a makeup artist, and my skill may be superior, but there may be another artist next to me who may not have the same skill. But
There's something. They have something.
no, you know, and we know how that goes.
Yep, we do. So, and let me ask you this. So, what if not me, but if someone wants to become a makeup artist, if they're thinking about going in that direction, what kind of skills do you think they should start training on immediately? How can they help themselves get to where you are?
What I would suggest is for that person, if they want to get into makeup, to find themselves a photographer. A couple, because you want to be able to work with different types. So this is how I started. So once I was learning how to do myself, I aligned myself with it was like a gang of photographers. They were like a group. They were all friends, they all knew each other. So that kind of gave me an advantage because I got to, I guess you would say, cut my teeth working with different types of photographers who were in turn working with a whole lot of models, and so I got the opportunity to be able to practice on all different nationalities, all different skin tones. So that's what I would personally give for advice, because that way, as a makeup artist, you would start to understand lighting. You would understand different facial features. Of course, you definitely want to work on people or skin tones that are not your own, because we're comfortable with ourselves.
Yeah, you could do it to you. Yeah, you practice all the time.
But you can learn how to, work with other skin tones, other nationalities. The best advice that I got and that I used was to work with Asians, because their faces are normally like a flatter terrain, right? You can learn how to make those spaces three-dimensional.
Man, I didn't even think about that in makeup. The different cultures definitely bring different parts of the face. Look at that. I didn't even think about that.
So when you look at their features of Asians, everything is pretty much flat.
Every culture has a different feature that is you could. Yeah, no, I didn't think about that.
Exactly. So that's how I really got into it. So I would seek out in the beginning. I would seek out, of course, Caucasians, and I would seek out Asians, and I would really, really hone my skills on them. So now I don't have to know who you are. You don't have to send me a picture.
Yeah, you could do it.
Just call me, and I'm prepared for whoever sits in my chair now.
That's actually a really good tip. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I thought you put makeup on someone and it doesn't really, you know what I mean? But yeah, I could see, the nose structure, the skin, yeah, it's. Yeah, you can. Wow, look, you taught me something today. You see, when my daughter comes and talks to me, I zone her out and I act like I'm listening. She probably told me, but I didn't pay attention. I'm like, makeup, it's easy. You just put it on. But yeah, that's a good point.
So I learned the same thing working with men. So, because there's a technique when it comes to men too. Well, so I go through the same process as I would with a woman, because I'm still highlighting and contouring. But men, their contouring would be slightly, to me, slightly different because it would be more of a boxy as more of these things, right? And then with working with men, and I had a background in working with quite a few rappers. So rappers don't want to be pretty. They're not.
Yeah, don't mess with that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the actors, they're not trying to be, so polished or too polished. You know what I'm saying? They still want that hard edge, still want to keep the masculinity. So it's just little things that you learn, how to sculpt, how to contour, and how to. Yeah, it's a little bit of thinking behind it. So it's not just slapping.
Yeah, you have to have a strategy depending on what their face is like. I'm serious. I never thought about that, but it makes a lot of sense. I want your product to like take off, like, and do really good. I'll put the links to your website on your episode. Ladies and gentlemen, please go and support her product. She is really doing this with passion. And you can see it. You can see that like you have a real passion for it, but not for the makeup. You can see you have a passion for what the makeup is doing.
Yeah.
The confidence is giving these little girls. You're giving them another option. And I love it. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it. And I want it to be a hit. I'm pretty sure it already is. It's going to be bigger than you ever expected because you have the right thought behind it. So thank you for joining me. I had a blast. And anything you need, we're here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. So I appreciate it. You are my very first.
Many more to come. Many more to come. Thank you so much. Have a good day, okay?
So, bye-bye.
Repeat after me. I am powerful.